I was entertained when I was looking at a tweet this morning that Dee Snider from Twisted Sister was slated to play the LGBTQ plus fair march or whatever in San Francisco, and they canned him, even though he really is. I mean, you want to talk about a drag queen pioneer. Mm-hmm. It's Twisted Sisters, Dee Snider, who's an all-around good dude. I've hung out with him. I think I did Celebrity Apprentice with him. He's a sincere
but not LGBTQ.
dude. No. He's very dude-ass, but for some reason,
always does the horns and pictures.
Right.
Yeah, it ended up going sort of trans something in early iterations of Twisted Sister, but always a supporter of the community, and I guess that's why he was chosen to play at the big gay parade in San Francisco that's coming up. But then he got canned because he supported another rock star's tweet, or at least liked it or retweeted it, or I don't even know where we're at anymore, but they shit canned him. But it was it Stan? Who?
Paul Stanley.
Paul Stanley from Kiss. Yeah. I don't know if we have that thing. But look, the only reason I'm bringing it up is I love when super wokesters eat their own. Mm-hmm. I love it when they go after their own. And the other part I like about it is when you read the headlines from Rolling Stone and they say, after supporting Paul Stanley's, anti-LGBT whatever attack, tweet or whatever it is, when it never is. It's always something much more innocuous. And it usually lives somewhere in common sense and stuff like that. But Paul Stanley's given us thoughts. And you want to read that? You got it, Dawson? Or you want me to
I got his apology first. Hold on. Let me find it. It's coming.
Oh, he apologized?
I see 2 hours ago, Paul Stanley did an apology, but let me find his first one first.
All right.
Okay, here we go. My thoughts on what I'm saying. There is a big difference between teaching acceptance and normalizing and even encouraging participation in a lifestyle that confuses young children into questioning their sexual identification as though some sort of game, and then parents in some cases allow it.
Hold up. All right, so the first thought is you should accept people for who they say they are, but there's a difference between accepting something and sort of foisting it on a young generation, sort of pushing it along versus accepting it. And this is kind of the problem with most of the movements today. You hanging around and accepting their shit is no longer good enough. You must cheer it on. Mm-hmm. The mission statement at the beginning was, we just want to do our own thing without judgment and be part of society and not have you look down your nose. And we went, fine.
Just fucking knock everybody out.
Knock yourselves out. We don't give a fuck. And they went, you don't give a fuck. Oh, now we got a problem. No, we must cheer it on.
Now they demand attention.
They demand it, yes, which suggests they didn't really, their initial mission statement was full of shit. They didn't mean it. But anyway.
There are individuals who, as adults, may decide reassignment is their needed choice. But turning this into a game or parents normalizing it as some sort of natural alternative, or believing that because a little boy likes to play dress up in his sister's clothes or a girl in her brother's, we should lead them steps further down a path that's far from the innocence of what they are doing. With many children who have no real sense of sexuality or sexual experiences, caught up in the fun of using pronouns and saying what they identify as, some adults mistakenly confuse teaching acceptance with normalizing and encouraging a situation that has been a struggle for those truly affected and have turned it into a sad and dangerous fad.
All right, all true. But, okay, he did. See, the other thing, too, is you can't offer support. Like you can't go, oh, sorry, I support this and I support that, but I wouldn't want this to indoctrinate kids who shouldn't be indoctrinated in this thing. But it doesn't matter. You say 3 words, you're gone. And then Dee Snider doesn't have to do anything. He just has to agree with it. He doesn't have to write his own post, right? He just kind of give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Right, because he's normal.
What did he do, Chris? Did he quote tweet it?
He quote, I have it. So D quote tweeted this and said, "You know what? There was a time where I, quote, felt pretty too. Glad my parents didn't jump to any rash conclusions." Well said, Paul Stanley.
Well, that's enough to get him off the gay float at the gay parade.
They're not going to take it.
So 2 hours ago, Paul Stanley says, "While my thoughts were clear, my words clearly were not. Most importantly, and above all," was there anything unclear about that? Anybody? It seemed pretty clear.
He isn't a great writer. I will say that. But they knew what the fuck he was saying. Yes, it was.
Lick it up.
Lick it up. Yeah.
Most importantly, and above all else, I support those struggling with their sexual identity while enduring constant hostility, and those whose path leads them to reassignment surgery. It's hard to fathom the kind of conviction that one must feel to take those steps. A paragraph or two will remain far too short to fully convey my thoughts or point of view, so I will leave that for another place and time. Lick it up.
Take it back. Take it back. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I said I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said I'm sorry. Sorry, gays. Sorry, gays. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've got to apologize.
I missed the Twisted Sister memo here, but I love that you guys know all the words.
That's Kiss.
Yeah.
That's Kit. There you go.
I'll give you a break. You're young and you're from a foreign land. But I don't know why he's weighing in on this stuff, but who cares? But
stick to being a rock star, right?
Yes.
He had a great gig.
I know. Nobody's like, oh, what does Paul Stanley have to say?
God.
no, but never apologize to these idiots.
Yeah,
But
more
anyway,
hurt than good for him.
so now,
Kiss will be fine. They have an army.
Now, Kiss has an army. That's right. And now, who's the gay parade gonna get? So, gonna get like a Savage Garden cover band, or who's gonna step in there? Someone's gonna have to step in. All right.
It ain't going to be Morrissey.
No. Oh, what's wrong with Morrissey? He doesn't like him?
He's a little too normal these days.
Is he?
Yeah, right, Chris? There's been some news about Morrissey
I
making
didn't
some
know.
very sane observations.
I
especially
didn't know
regarding-
that either.
I didn't
I
know
always thought
Morrissey
Morrissey was crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, good news for Morrissey fans.
I'll dig into it.
Yeah, look up and see what Morrissey's saying. Anyway, good. Have fun canceling each other. Good luck to you.
Loxy is available, though.
Yes. Yeah, I'll do 20 minutes of mom humor.
We can be bought for
and open for you. Do we got Randi Weingarten anywhere in our news? I
Yeah.
wanted to yell about her.
You want to jump in? You want to jump into that?
Well, it reminded me of something I was yelling about with Dr. Drew earlier today, but
Well, I mean, I did have this in the hopper, but yeah, let's get going with this. So she's under fire because she spoke to Congress a couple of weeks ago,
yeah.
and this is what she had to say.
Oh, by the way, can I just say this? Can I say this about everybody? There's the fucking full of their own shit look they have. Like there's this bitch when she's up at the podium in front of the teachers' unions and the Democratic politicians going, "We're not going anywhere until they give us more plexiglass," and everyone goes nuts. I like the frumpy, fucked up, defeated version of her.
Yeah.
You see her? This is the deflated, I fucking screwed the pooch. Now I'm gonna have my ass handed to me by many people that are smarter than me. Oh, all of a sudden her face has changed. Her hair's falling down. Her face is falling down. This is fucking Ron Jeremy's mugshot.
It's like the panda in Tennessee.
That's right.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Oh, yeah.
caricatures earlier. I could see her caricature now. Her face would be lower than her
Yeah. Oh,
tits
she's
are.
normally she's normally all fucking shits and grins and shaking her
Yeah.
fist and yelling about Trump and everything else because she has all her fucking lackey flocky legions around her nodding their head. Now she gets pulled up in front of Congress. She's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, defeated. So
Yeah.
this is her talking about the impact of COVID-19 school closures.
I'm sorry, Congressman Raskin. We spent every day from February on trying to get schools open. We knew that remote education was not a substitute for opening schools, but we also knew that people had to be safe. And maybe it's because I live in New York City. I live near a hospital.
Oh, my God.
Every
She
other
lives next to
minute
a
there was
hospital.
an ambulance.
Good.
There was terror. Our members
Hold on
were
a second. There's Tara. What if you lived next to a Farrell's ice cream shop and all you saw was happy people going in and eating ice cream every day? Would you change your policy? Like, maybe you shouldn't base it on where you live. Like, if you live in proximity to an AIDS hospice, then you would just set all your policy and make it all AIDS-based. Or if you lived in proximity to a driving range, it would be golf-related stuff. Like
Next to a Panda Express, you see people that can't eat their chicken.
Yes, maybe your proximity to a hospital shouldn't affect your policy, you crazy witch.
That makes sense.
I just wanted to open the schools. Bull fucking shit. By the way, I thought closing schools was a good idea. Why don't you stand by it, you crazy witch? Stand by it. It was good. It was a good thing. Remember, it was a good thing? It was important. Just stick with it. Stick with it. Stick with you told us was important.
It was important then.
Oh, it's not important now?
No.
I mean, we talk about the effect it had on the kids, but what about the effect it had on us? Talk about mental
That's
health. I
right.
was stuck at home with two 6-year-olds, one with a learning disability for a year. Insanely hard. Just
Oh, my God.
mentally definitely drove you to alcohol at 11 o'clock in the morning. It was just rough as balls.
Is that the end of this clip, or is she going to whimper some more? Bitch. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
I live near a hospital. Every other minute there was an ambulance. There was terror. Our members were terrified. Others were terrified. And what we were simply looking for was clear scientific guidance. And when we couldn't get it, we did it ourselves, and we
you did it
worked
yourselves.
with doctors, and we
Yeah.
worked with others, and we just tried to get it out there.
Okay, now
you blackballed every doctor who said, don't shut down the schools, you crazy coos. Don't give me this fucking shit.
I know.
Oh, God. Terror. She says terror like Woody Allen, by the way. True New Yorker. She doesn't say terror. She says terror. Now, good. I do like, again, I like deflated version of her, which is good. But I was saying to Dr. Drew, what happened that, people during COVID, they started snitching on everybody and telling everyone to pull their mask off, pull mask up, and this guy's not doing this, and you're endangering me and endangering Nana, and blah, blah, blah. I said to Drew earlier today, when did we all turn into hall monitors in the high school of life? And wasn't the hall monitor the most despicable kid in your school that you looked down upon? You wanted to be the cool kid smoking under the bleachers, not the guy with the fucking sash yelling at people not to run in the hall, right?
The narcs.
When did the narcs when did this become some prestigious position to be a narc and a hall monitor?
Now
And why do we listen to you idiots?
Now I think people fight for that right. Now I think people fight for the right to be the person that can tell them whatever else is doing wrong.
Come out to the bleachers with the cool kids and smoke a cigarette. All right.
Well, actually, so this Randi clip, it obviously went viral, and a lot of people confronting her. Even Lori Lightfoot, she rejected that Randi's claim about unions working to reopen schools, said it was not the reality in Chicago.
No, they unionized. They weaponized their unions to close it. But listen, Lori Lightfoot was arresting people walking along the lake.
I know.
So fuck her.
Maybe a way of deflecting the attention there.
It makes me, makes me harken back to a couple of tweets, I should say, exchange I had with the L.A. union teachers unions.
Right, they heard what you're saying about them.
Yes.
Well, so you tweeted, LA teachers either don't want to go back to work or are cowards. Those are the only two options left.
That was
February 2021.
Right.
Yeah.
But then they clapped back at me.
Oh, they made a graphic.
Yeah, they made a graphic. Because this is what you do when you have all the time in the world on your hands. You make graphics. The LA teachers of Los Angeles got back to me.
They said, teachers are working, Adam Carolla, but congrats on being spared the devastation our communities face. The communities we serve have COVID-19 levels 15 times greater than those in your wealthy La Cañada neighborhood. And then
They doxed me.
and the hashtag entitlement alert, and the graphic says, Adam Carolla calls Los Angeles teachers cowards from his new $7.3 million mansion in La Cañada.
That's right.
The teachers were working. You know who wasn't fucking working? The parents that were stuck at home with these kids
couldn't go
that
to
have had
work.
full-time jobs that they had to do.
Yes.
And then they
They
continued.
kept going.
Same graphic.
But here's what I want to say to the United Teachers of Los Angeles. What do you got to say now, bitch? What do you have to say? Hit me back. Hit me back, bitches. You're all fucking high and mighty. This is 2 years ago. Where are you now? Come on, bring it. Come on in.
Door's
We'll have a
open.
debate. The door's open, you fucking pussy, spineless, feckless cowards. Come on in. Hey, United Teachers Unions, you're fast to clap back, right? Can you hear me? Come on in. Come on in.
Open invitation,
Bring
Teachers
it on
Union.
down, Teachers Union, United Teachers Union of Los Angeles. Come on in. Let's debate school closures. Let's do it. Come on down. I won't even have a piece of paper in front of me. Come on down. But you won't do it because you're fucking cowards.
Well, actually, Adam, speaking of cowards,
What?
they tweeted again. Who's the coward? The teachers who dare confront government officials and powerful business to fight for the health of their students and families?
What government officials were they confronting? Garcetti? The mayor? The governor? They were backing your shutdown because you put them in office with your unions because you give them money for their campaigns.
Right.
Okay.
I also love the picture that they chose of you. They didn't choose one of your pensive, thoughtful pictures.
No,
they chose
they
the
picked
one
the-
with the smuggest look on the
happy
face
picture.
as well.
I agree.
Yeah, so who's the coward, them or you,
Me.
who sits safely in your La Cañada mansion? They are really focusing, honing in on that.
Safely.
Criticizing what apparently you don't even understand. Teachers are working.
She just said that the school remote learning was much less effective, and they knew it. So
Yeah.
what does that mean?
So you're entitled, and they said you're just tweeting from your La Cañada mansion, millions of dollars, and you.
I wrote back, that's untrue. I called them cowards from my mansion in Malibu.
Brutal.
I was in Malibu at the time. I was just like,
Yeah. You gotta-
for the record.
Let's get the facts straight.
For the record, yes, I sit home and I count money in my mansion, except for I was out on the road every other day in any other city that wasn't as fucking kooky as Los Angeles that would let me do stand-up and
San
work
Diego is one of those for
in
sure.
their city.
Yeah.
Were they as kooky or less
No,
kooky?
San Diego
they're
was
normal.
completely different. We carried
Yeah.
on. I mean, we were doing shows socially distanced, wasn't even socially distanced within
Yes.
3-4 months.
Yes. All right. Anyway, let's come back and let's revisit and let's figure out who was right and who was wrong. Or is it just universally accepted that closing down schools was a fucking horrible idea that hurt kids badly? And then there's no reason to have this debate? So in that case, I'll just take an apology.
Right.
How
I mean, the
about that?
dust is settling in favor of that, though, right?
They're fucking liars. They're idiots.
It's going to be 10 years till we truly see the effect it has on the kids, though, when they start going off to colleges and seeing the disparity of
or
COVID
not
kids,
going
yeah.
off to college.
or not going off to college. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's already a bunch of depression and super low math scores and all the other effects and weight gain and, whatever, all the other shit you guys foisted upon these kids because you're fucking cowards. But it's mainly you're in a union, you don't want to work, there's no school choice, and you have the government behind you because your unions give them money for their campaigns and vote them in. All right. That's a great system.
Yeah. In
All right,
fact,
thank you.
widespread loneliness in the U.S. poses health risks as deadly as smoking up to 15 cigarettes daily. Dawson's
Yes, because I'm good. I'm not lonely.
That's
I'm
right.
alone, but I'm not lonely, and I smoke.
Right.
So I'm healthier than you fuckers.
That's right.
Yeah, U.S. Surgeon General said Tuesday, he's, quote, "We now know that loneliness is a common feeling that many people experience. It's like hunger or thirst. It's a feeling the body sends us when something we need for survival is missing. Millions of people in America are struggling in the shadows, and that's not right. That's why I issued this advisory to pull back the curtain on a struggle that too many people are experiencing. I mean, definitely worsened since the COVID."
Yeah, we told
spread.
everyone to go in and lock down, which is the shelter in place. Mayor Garcetti said shelter in place 250 times. It's the worst thing you could have done for yourself during COVID. Sunshine, outdoors, exercise, socializing. That would have been the best thing you could have done.
Saying it's like hunger or thirst is pushing it a little farther. Like if you're lonely for 4 days, you'll die of dehydration. Like that's a push.
I don't know.
Well, they said loneliness increases the risk of premature death by nearly 30%.
Well, there is a lot going on. First thing, okay. The reason I'm dismissive when most people tell me they have a headache or backache, especially anyone under 40, I'm like, it's not that. Something's going on in your head. Like, you need to fucking go for a run. You need to listen to classical music. You need to break a sweat. You need to build a barn. You need to have a laugh, hoist a beer. Like, there's something going. It's so much of your head now just affects everything. Now, it's taken us a little while to figure out your gut actually affects things and your head affects things. Your gut affects your head, and then your head ruins everything. But we are much more, we were not cut out for this. And what is this? This is sitting around in air conditioning and looking at information that upsets us. Mm-hmm. We were not made for it. We were meant to be on our feet, moving outside, doing something. And all the people I know who do that are completely fine. And the people that are at home getting information, sedentary, are not.
Yeah, so speaking of technology, technology has rapidly exacerbated this problem, with one study cited in the report finding that people who use social media for 2 hours or more daily were more than twice as likely to report feeling socially isolated than those who are on for less than 30 minutes. And social media is driving the increase in loneliness in particular. Murthy's report suggests that technology companies should roll out these protections for children based on their behavior in social media and just how they're feeling. I mean, I know you're not on social media a ton, but
no, look,
it's
look, here's the whole thing. Government is not going to be able to regulate you into a good life. They're inept at what they do, and they don't care unless you owe them money, in which case they care greatly. You are going to have to be in charge of your own shit. Look, the term junk food was probably coined in 1969. I knew what junk food was when I was 6. I heard junk food. You know what I mean? You can't eat all that junk food, all that sugary cereal and all that candy. You got to eat your vegetables or whatever. This whole thing where it's like, we need an information campaign. It's a retarded government thought. Like, if only people, it's right up there with, we're going to cure racism if we just sit down at the table and have a discussion. No, we will not. Everyone has all the information. Mm-hmm. You have to, at some point, you have to go out and do it. You can ask any 9-year-old on the planet, what's better for you, broccoli or a bowl of Sugar Smacks? They know what the answer is.
Yeah.
Everything is ubiquitous now. Everything is almost free. You can sit on the internet for 20 hours a day if you choose. You can go to a drive-thru and order junk food at 2 a.m. on a weeknight. Everything is open. Everything is there. You're going to start regulating yourself. It's not the government. They're not going to come up with another food pyramid that's going to cure this, and they're not going to do some sort of campaign, some sort of informational campaign. It's not going to work for junk food. It's not going to work for school shootings. It's not going to work for anything. Everyone's going to have to start fucking self-regulating.
Yeah.
You are going to have to, and you don't need the government or me or anyone telling you what to do. You need to exercise. You need to read a little more and watch a little less this. You need to eat better and do a little less junk. You need to connect or talk to people that you like. It's all that, all of that shit all adds up, and you already know it. You're just going to have to start doing it.
Yeah. So I went through a period of intense loneliness when I moved from the UK to the US. Mm-hmm. Right? 28 years old. I did not know a soul in this country. I'd never been to America. Like, never been to America, didn't know anyone. My job moved me over to sunny San Diego, which was great. But still, I was moving over, didn't know anyone. And that's a lot to take on. And just I remember that 2 weeks thinking, have I done the right thing here? How do I figure this out? I was single, so that helped a little bit. And I just started pushing myself out. You have to take responsibility for yourself, right? I literally went on to Craigslist, and there was another girl like me who'd written, single female in San Diego looking for friends. And I literally it was basically like a dating, and we went out, and there was about 40 girls there. 2 I clicked with, still friends with to this day.
Yeah.
And I got myself out there, but I think it becomes linked into, it's something bigger, right? You're not just lonely. If you're lonely for a period amount of time, you're depressed or anxious.
Yes.
It's
Especially
linked into something else. You're not just lonely, because if you're just lonely, but you've got the confidence to get out there, then like me, then you'll be fine again, and you could pick yourself up. I think you've got something worse. If you're lonely, you're also at least depressed, anxious, something.
If there's no part of you that's looking to solve this problem or to change it, then that's depression.
Yes.
You're just going to sink
Yes.
even deeper.
And also the mental depression that people give too much power to can be broken. And it can be broken by physical activity. And people, I spend way too much time talking to idiots about this, but they sit and I go, get up, let's go, let's hike, let's move, and they go, I'm not feeling it, and it's like, that's why you're not. But you can look, if I took a lighter and threw it in this trash can right now and just start a fire and threw it on the sofa, could you get up and start walking out of this goddamn house? And if the answer is yes, then guess who can get up and start walking? You can.
Yeah.
Go to the fucking beach, walk on the beach. Go to the mountains, walk the mountains. Start doing it. And you go, I'm depressed. So your legs don't function? Like you've lost control of your bodily functions because, I don't mean taking a deuce on yourself, but I just mean you're unable to stand up and walk. You'll stand up and walk down to the liquor store and get another 6-pack of beer, then walk past the liquor store and keep going. And it's like people are way too up in their fucking head about everything.
They're unmotivated.
And we've enabled the shit out of them. Like they have depression.
And it's okay, yeah.
It's a clinical thing. They got to talk to it. No, they don't. Just get up and start moving. And you know what the answers are. I get it. You want internet porn, you want junk food, you want booze.
Yes.
Me too. But it's not good for not good for the noggin. So start fucking hiking.
I mean, depression wasn't even a medical it wasn't even a medical diagnosis 30 years ago, right?
No,
so at what point does loneliness become a medical diagnosis in 10 years' time?
Everyone knows the answer, except for the answer sucks, because the answer is diet and exercise for everything in life, and nobody wants that answer.
Well, what do you think the focus on mental health? How important is it really then? Because I mean, these days people take days off for mental health.
Bill,
no,
listen. I'm telling you, I cured Drew of a panic attack by yelling at him. He's not having a panic attack to get the fuck back to work, and he snapped out of it.
Yeah.
Nobody likes me, except for I'm always right. You have to get up and you have to do something. You cannot indulge yourself. You taking days off for, what do they call them?
Mental health days, right?
Yeah. All that does is make you spiral a little lower down into some form of mental health disability, and it validates you being that.
It's an acceptance.
Yeah, you know what the best answer? The best answer for everybody, which no one will ever do, because everyone's always going, I don't feel good. Whenever somebody goes to me, oh, you're jumping in that cold lake, you're going to get sick. I go, I don't get sick. And they go, you're going to get sick if you go out, it's freezing outside. I go, I don't get sick. I don't get sick. And then I don't get sick. Or I get sick and I show up at work. Or fuck it. People got to get over their fucking shit a little bit. People are way too fucking soft. They're way too easy on themselves. This is the big problem. People are like, I can't do this because I'm not feeling. Fuck the way you feel. Get the fuck up and go to work.
I think Randi Weingarten's looking to just close schools because of kids' mental health now.
Oh, God.
But whose fault is it? Is it the person who thinks that they have a mental health issue, or is it us saying this is okay? And
it's the third. There's a third person. There's the person that's not feeling it, so they can't get up and take a walk or do whatever it is they need to do. Then there's me telling them, are you hurt or are you injured? Because if you're hurt, get up. If you're injured, we'll go to the hospital. But there's a difference. Rub some dirt on it. We're going. We're taking a lap. Here we go. Get up. Let's do it. It's not that person's fault who's sitting around not feeling it. First off, what percentage of people who announce they can't do something because they have a headache actually can't do something because they have a headache? 4%? 1%? What percentage of people cannot do whatever because they have a headache? It's all in there. It's all okay.
Don't tell my husband that.
Can't versus I don't want.
Say that for mom night. All right. So it's not the first person's fault who's sitting on the bed saying I'm not feeling it. It's not my fault who's telling them to get the fuck up. We're going for a walk. It's the third person's fault who sides with the person who's sitting on the bed going, she's done it. He's not feeling, and you don't understand, or whatever. It's that person's fault, and there's way too many of them. The enablers. There's way too many. You don't know how they feel. They need to talk to somebody. You're not an expert. Blah, 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 blah. It's the third person's fault who needs to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's who's fucking up our society, the third person. Yeah.
Well, it is an issue, according to it. They just put up a note. In a recent study, more than 40% of people who knew at least one person with migraine felt that people with migraine use their illness as an excuse to avoid family work or school commitments and or exaggerate their symptoms.
I like that it's written in the third person.
Can I say this? How come every single super effective person I know has never not done something because they had a headache? Is that just a coincidence? I've talked to Mark Garagos 7,000 times. I can't make it today, man. I got a headache. Mark Garagos never gets a headache. Why does Mark Garagos ever get a headache? Why doesn't anyone I know who's super effective ever get a fucking headache? Jay Leno's got a headache. He can't perform this evening. No, he doesn't. He never gets a headache.
You see Jay Leno in the news?
Handing out donuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a sweet guy.
Yeah. Although I love Jay, but I can't figure out if people are doing it because they truly stand with the unions. Because I saw who's that fat actor I hate so much? Gottlieb. Gotti. God damn it. It's a musical fat ass Dumbo. Union guy. Scott. You're gonna think of Scott Gott. Come on. You're gonna fucking beat yourself up.
I know.
Josh Gad.
Oh.
It's fat Dumbo actor I disagree with.
Yeah.
I got you.
Say Olaf.
Yeah, that guy. That guy's got the picket sign. He's walking around. But
a bunch of them are, man.
I wonder how much of that is, when the camera leaves, they may leave too.
Well, I will say for Jay, he arrived by himself in his Tesla plan.
That's good.
Handed out 2 boxes of donuts
He's
for
sincere.
80 people.
Hey, you people who lead a sedentary life, here's some carbs.
He didn't call the press first, is what you're saying.
No, they're just like cell phone videos.
Jay's the best. Yeah, he's sincere.
But they are depressed. Maybe they shouldn't be eating donuts. Maybe you should have said, let's go for a run instead.
Well, they're walking. It's most exercise most of these
go.
writers have gotten in a long time. I'll just end it with this.
Okay.
If there's a celebrity I like and he's out hanging out with the people on strike, I believe it's sincere. If it's a celebrity I don't like, then they're just poser bullshit actors.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Better
That's
get an
how I
Adam's
come
good
down.
side.
That's how
you really
that's
want this
how
to
it
be
goes down.
sincere.
I'll decide whether you're sincere or not by whether I like you or not. That seems consistent, right?
Yeah, that's science.
Yeah, that's science. Yeah.
And where they do it, I think maybe. If they did it from their Malibu mansion door,
Count the
maybe
money.
not. But if they go where the writers are,
Yeah.
give them credit.
Yeah. I was listening to Josh Gad, wasn't it? I was like, okay. Let me just tell you
He's a
something.
very sensitive guy.
Not all writers are good. I've worked with many a shit writer who didn't contribute at all and just hammered checks, number one. It's like saying all American Indians are noble. Some of them were alcoholics who beat on their kids. So they're not all noble. You know what I mean? And he was doing this thing where it's like, we wouldn't have words if they didn't put words. Most guys I know that are funny and like good actors, they could write. They can put their words in their mouth pretty good. Okay. Anyway.
All right, let's move on. So remember a few weeks ago you came up with Atheist B&B?
Oh, yeah.
Where this is because I had some friends who bought or who rented a house for really cheap because a family was murdered in that house. So they lowered the price by a ton and they were able to rent this house for a song. So this is kind of happening now with a couple of islands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a billionaire, Stephen Deckoff, has bought 2 private islands in the U.S. Virgin Islands, previously owned by Jeffrey Epstein. So these 2 islands he got for $60 million. The asking price was $125. So he got them for a steal as well. And his plans for these islands are to turn them into a luxury resort.
Yeah.
With this,
Do the cameras still work?
look, I know that'd be nice if they got all the rollover tech that was there.
They got to tear down a lot of the structures and stuff. Though,
That's what
right?
I'm saying. Like that would obviously affect the tourism there, right? If you're thinking about that, like, oh, on this island is where underage girls were
Right, like you don't want, if you
sexually-
want to or don't want to stay in a haunted house, like do you
Right.
or don't
Like,
you want to
does it
stay
affect-
on
like,
the
do you get
Jeffrey?
affected by that kind of stuff?
Haunted? No. Do I want to sleep in the same bed that whatever hell went down on? Hell no.
Well, same walls.
Well, I think
Not the same.
I think there's a difference between someone being killed and someone being molested. Like it's a sliding scale, you know. Killed, your spirit leaves the earth, you know what I mean? And that's the spot where your spirit left. So it makes some sense to some people that somehow your spirit hit the ceiling and then bounced back down again and is still hanging out there. You
Which
know
is
what I mean?
different to if some cute old grandpa died in his sleep. You know, like that's fine. That's just the circle of life, right? That's not
right.
haunted.
So being murdered somewhere
Yes.
is you expiring. This is your innocence is being torn from you, which is bad, but it's not. But you physically at some point get on a boat and leave with your spirit. You know what I mean? Maybe not your hymen, but your spirit gets on the catamaran. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not as haunted or as bad as the family that's murdered, you know, inside the house, if you care at all. But I'm also assuming that, well, let's just break it down. It's also a sliding scale on decor and structures. Like you go, this is the actual futon the person was murdered in. You'd be like, well, fucking same futon, you know? But if you go, the bed the person was murdered in was taken out and burned in the island. We got a new bed. You'd go, okay, that's a little better. And then if you go, this room was the room, though, and you go, but this room was destroyed. They took a wrecking ball. They took the whole house down, and then they built a new.
It's just the land.
Now that's getting better. Now it's just in the soil. It's like radon, you know? And then they blow up the slab, and then they excavate, and then they build a new resort.
Yeah, how much can you erase?
By the
Right.
time you build the new resort, I think the cooties and the spirit has been exercised.
Let me ask you this: there's no way he would make any kind of ancillary revenue from it still, right? It's not. I keep thinking, like, if I was listening to, you know, an R. Kelly song, you know, there's that big question over whether does he still make money from that?
So here, I'll tell you. So Epstein's estate and related entities in November agreed to pay the government of the Virgin Islands more than $105 million to settle claims of sex trafficking and child exploitation. That deal also required the estate to pay the Virgin Islands half of the proceeds of the sale from the islands. Yeah, plus another $450,000 addressed damages, where Epstein had raised the remnants of structures that were hundreds of years old to make room for development.
Oh, he
So-
got rid of them. Maybe
Yeah.
they were haunted. Maybe there was like human sacrifice there, and he had a good
So you
reason.
Gave him the
You could,
heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
You could argue. So he only has to pay back 50. He only has to pay 50% of the profit for the island.
Yeah.
So you could argue that by staying on the island, you're giving Jeffrey Epstein money.
Well, look, if they got a
You could argue.
if they got a killer water slide,
Yeah, I'll tell you.
if they got a lazy river, sorry, I'm in.
I
Now-
know you still listen to R.
So-
Kelly.
Yeah, I didn't know what he did.
So the plan is
That guy rocks.
the state of the plan. I mean, the plan is a state-of-the-art, 5-star, world-class luxury, 25-room resort to help bolster tourism, create jobs, spur economic development.
How
in the
does
region.
one get to this island? Like, I'm looking at boats, like kind of catamarans, kind of medium size. It can't be more than 2 hours away from land, right? Because I'm looking at boats in the harbor that
Yeah.
are kind of medium small. Like, I'm always curious when someone has an island, I'm like, where do you fly into? And then how do you get there once you fly into? But
Yeah, Ben, will you Google how to get to Jeffrey Epstein's island?
or
I
you can-
just
you
want
can
to know what comedian they're going to book first to perform at the resort. That would be great.
Yeah, or you can just check my ways. I was going to go there a few years ago, and things kind of fell
Previously
apart.
visited.
Well, it was before all the hubbub.
Right.
So, yeah, check how long, because I'm looking at a bunch of boats in this harbor.
But that's the big island. So Great St. James is the bigger island. Little St. James, obviously the smaller one, and Little St. James is where all the shit went down.
And those little boats could not travel more than 15, 20 miles, like in the open sea. So it can't be it's got to be close to land-ish. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
So Little St. James, by the way, acquired the nicknames of Island of Sin, Pedophile Island, or Orgy Island. And it spans 71.6 acres, includes a helipad, private dock, a gas station, high-capacity water filtration,
Oh, yeah.
2 pools, the main compound, 4 guest villas, 3 private beaches, a gym, and a tiki hut. So
So
it's already stocked. with
What are they
stuff.
going to rename it, I wonder? Pedo Island? Like, what do you rename that?
Oh,
Well, pedophile is
Pedophile.
that's
is what
my.
Adam came up with. Yeah.
Well, no, I came up
Pedophile.
with a movie called Pedophile many years ago. What is? I don't know. Ben, don't show us a fucking map that we can't read from it. Just tell us how many miles, how far from the thing to the thing. I can't.
Not swimmable, clearly.
Well, we have a satellite picture of it, but I'm not sure what that means. It doesn't. It looks pretty close.
Well, if
but
we want to get there
there's-
from space, we know how.
right.
Yeah.
I know there's a graphic you're showing us, but I can't tell how far that is. But there's some. It's close enough that you could take a smallish boat, and he probably took a helicopter.
Bladed it.
I mean, there's a
guess.
helipad. Yeah. So might as well. All right. So speaking of schools, in Houston, 2 weeks ago, there was a brawl in the hallway of Westfield High School, and it shows screaming students basically fighting, kind of ganging up on a person. That person, the vice principal. Yeah. So here we have video of it, but
Who is a female?
yeah,
Oh boy.
and warning, distressing content. But here's some of the video.
It's the Where's the vice principal?
You'll see her. So they all kind of gang up on her. She's
Gotta
yeah,
get
Is she in the
the
white
jeans.
cardigan?
yeah. Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah, see her back's like kind of, and there's this mob of kids just pounding on her.
Oh, it's sad.
There's
Yeah,
no
so-
excuse for that. I mean,
I know. Went to the she went to the hospital. Obviously, she's pursuing legal
Yeah.
action.
For
but-
those who weren't watching this, these are mostly Jewish kids, and I hate to bring that up. but
Yeah,
Just so you know.
I know. Yeah, because we
Yeah.
have a lot of listeners, so we should let them know. But
Yeah.
yeah,
What was the
Can you
backstory?
imagine?
No, I listen. I can't imagine anything that's going on now. But it's only 5 miles. All right, it's not too bad. Get there on my Sea-Doo. Put my gal pal on the back. Open that throttle up. 6-pack between the legs.
That's a good weekend right there. Come on.
Look. Catalina's 26 miles.
Her 6-pack or a 6-pack between your legs?
I got my 6-pack, baby, and then there's hers. Yeah. All right, we're gonna start raising our kids, everybody.
She was trying to break up a fight, and she got.
She caught up in the scrum.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
All right,
Got one more?
Yeah, I could do one more. Let's do one more. So, Matthew Lawrence, he was a child actor. I guess he's still an actor, but he was on Boy Meets World, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a podcast with his two brothers. One of them is Joey Lawrence.
Whoa.
I know. So they do a podcast, and in it he talked about trying to audition for a Marvel role. And,
Whoa.
No, but here's what he had to say about that.
Wait, is this Matthew?
No, well, the person you're seeing right now is Andrew, the youngest.
Oh, okay.
But Matthew, it'll cut over to Matthew.
Men go through this as well, whether it's another woman or another man in power.
woman.
There's been many times in my life where I've been propositioned to get a huge role. I've lost my agency because I went to the hotel room, which I can't believe they would send me to, of a very prominent Oscar award-winning director who showed up in his robe, asked me to take my clothes off and said he needed to take Polaroids of me, and that if I did X, Y, and Z, I would be the next Marvel character. I didn't do that, and my agency fired me because I left this director's room.
It doesn't. Here's the.
He looks like he should have auditioned for the villain and he would have got the job.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
those
know
glasses.
we have to believe all boys, but I am saying it is weird. You know when people tell you stories and sometimes like somebody will be like, women do this a lot, men do it, men who think like women do it a lot. And men, but there's a lot of them now.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like they'll go like, I went to the restaurant and I was on time, and the maitre d' asked what time my reservations were, and I said 7 o'clock, and it was 7 o'clock exactly, and the person started screaming at me. I'm always like,
There's
what do
more
we?
to it.
It's just something. What they just start screaming at you like so. You went to Harvey Weinstein's villa. He answered in a bathrobe, said he was going to make you Aquaman. But when did you take your pants off? And then you went back to the Gersh agency, and then they fired you. Like it feels weird. It also kind of feels like a liability. Like, hey, I'm William Morris, and I sent my guy over to this guy's house, the thing. And when I got there, he told me to drop my pants. So I left, and I came back and told you guys you're William Morris, and then you dropped me because I didn't suck his dick.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like there's other components.
Something missing.
Right. I need.
I'm
we
like-
need to show your work.
I'm
a little
not
more.
saying this guy didn't do that
Right.
to you. It's the part where you went back and told
the agency
in 2007 or whenever modern times it was, your big, huge multinational agency, hey, here's what happened. I went, you, get out. Like something.
There's something.
We're missing something. They do this thing. They try to include women all the time. And they go, we've all been propositioned, in this situation by powerful men and women. It's like, women never do this shit. I wish they would. They don't. Number two, I never get fucking proposition. Never have.
Oh.
I know.
When has going to someone's house ever been a good idea for a business meeting
Their
or an
par- or
interview
their
or forever?
hotel
Like,
room.
never. Yeah.
No, the problem with the hotel is it's plausible. Like what I mean is like I have had many instances where like somebody was in town and they're staying at the Four Seasons and traffic's a mess, and by the way, we want to talk shop and we don't want to sit next to some other table, with them over there.
Yeah.
Come up to my room, we'll order room service and we'll hash it out. I got a suite, that I think it kind of goes to I'm in town sort of thing. Now,
Yeah.
when they answer in the bathrobe,
But that's with someone you know. This was he was interviewing someone I assume that he didn't have a close relationship with or didn't work with.
no, it'll get into. We'll have a meeting. Yeah, there you can get into a hotel room
Yeah.
with someone you don't know, but the bathrobe. See
Yeah.
the move.
Yeah, that's an immediate walk away.
What I do is I answer the door fully clothed, sit down, always have a preset tall cranapple that I promptly knock onto my lap. And then I go, oh, Jesus
Silly
Christ,
me.
damn it.
Butterfingers.
Sorry. And then I go into the bathroom. Then I come out
Sorry.
in the hotel bathrobe. That's the move. You don't answer.
Genius.
You got to go.
You need a reason.
Do not go 7-Up, Sprite, or Fresca. You got to go cranberry
Something that says
based.
red wine,
yeah.
maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Giving them ideas now.
Coffee,
Someone's
yeah.
going to do the reverse on you. I like it.
Yeah. So, whoa. So he could have gotten a job at
A Marvel movie, but yeah, he says that his agency fired him because he didn't proceed with the director's wishes.
But he doesn't say who the director was.
No, he
right?
wouldn't name the director, but his point was just, look, men go through this just as much as women do, or also in addition to women. And he did point out Terry Crews's case in his argument.
I don't get the not named. Why no name though? In this day and age, I mean, the day and age, we've all gone through obviously the Me Too movement. Why would he not? If he's going to go hum out and say this, why would he not go as far as naming it?
I agree. I don't think men go through this nearly as much as women do at all.
An
number
Oscar-winning
one.
director. I mean, how many of those directed a
number-
Marvel movie? We could probably narrow it down.
Right.
And Terry Crews got the nut tap sack, right? The backhand nut sack tap.
Yeah, Hollywood agent Adam Vanett, he accused him in 2016 for basically groping him at a party.
Yeah.
The agent denied. They reached a settlement in 2018.
That was not this. But anyway. All right, listen. Everyone's nuts. Everyone's a victim. God bless. Have fun out there, everybody.